Hey, it's the MorrowMarriage podcast where we came back from the depths of hell and we want to pull you out of it too. I don't know what happened to my voice there. All right, guys, I'm back. Let's do it. I've got my beautiful wife, Kathryn, here. Get your own. And today I want to talk about money and how it's not the problem. We're going to talk about why peace is so important in the home.
Stop trying to lead and make decisions all the time.
You should not be proud if you raised your voice and screamed at them.
No matter what.
No matter what. I'm Cass.
And I'm Kathryn. Why am I allowing him to do this in front of our children? Why am I allowing this to happen at all? You don't get to say whatever you want to a man and push him to the point where he snaps.
I might have been a really bad man the other day, but today I went out of my way to be a good man and she thanked me for it.
Is that you always want to act in the direction you want to go. So
he is just a paycheck. What about his needs?
we're MorrowMarriage.
Let's flip divorce statistics with the new marriage.
Guys, money's not the problem. Okay, I talk to a lot of guys. And you know, something that's very, very common with the guy that I work with, whether or not he's rich or he's poor, he thinks he's a provider. Okay. And I talk to a lot of men on social media, or you see the comments, and they all think things like, she's just using me for a paycheck. You know, sometimes that's men in my program too, but not as much. Those men usually a bit more of a chip on their shoulder, I think, currently at the time of making those statements. But listen, I don't really know how to express this any other way, but like, we kind of all sign up for a fairy tale. Like, let's get real here. If you're doing the marriage thing, you have an idea, right? The kingdom, whatever that dream looks like for you, the prince charming or the princess become the king and queen, okay? And we live happily ever after. Am I making this up? Does this seem pretty fucking real?
Pretty sure you didn't make that up. Don't try to claim that.
Yeah, I did. Thank you. Yeah, don't have to say I'm lying. So essentially, listen, if you are providing, you where's the prince charming? Okay, number one. Number two, the real problem with this is typically it's not about, I'm going to use a her spending all the money thing since this comes up with men all the time. That's actually a you fucking problem. You don't know how to budget. You don't know how to put boundaries in place. You gave her your bank card before you guys made a plan. Like, I mean, whatever it is, like, don't get me wrong. I don't think money should be separate. You know, we have to do that with business stuff. And then everything goes together. Everything.
And there's no wrong way to do it though.
There isn't.
I just had a conversation with my women, and no matter if you split it 50-50 or if somebody pays 70% because they make 70% of the money, it's all between the two of you.
Whatever your plan is. But to come up with a statement like, you know, my partner spends all the money. I had a guy recently, that's what he gave her, $10,000 credit card paid off for her to use, and was mad because she blew it in a week. I know that's crazy, but like,
I mean, I don't think it's crazy. I don't know if women spend more than men. I think they're known to spend more than men.
I know, but
I think I made a joke. You on another podcast, you talked about this $10,000 credit card, and I was like, we can do that.
Well, I see men do it all the time too. Like, I had a guy, he's talking about a big win in my group, and he wanted to go celebrate. He wanted to go buy a new boat, you know, like, so we all just do. I wanted to buy muscle cars before, like we had like 4 cars in the backyard. You know what I mean? Like, so we all have our things. Money's not the problem, guys. If you're fighting over money, make more, budget better, invest smarter, live in your means. There's so many different things that I think that we should probably really kind of hit home on quick.
Can I touch on something?
Yeah.
So you mentioned the kingdom and the Prince Charming, and how the princess, the queen wants the Prince Charming. It's not actually about the money. Because I hold women responsible and women accountable. Sometimes that Prince Charming can't be so charming when he's being triggered by that not so queenish queen. And so from the opposite perspective, if you are not edifying your husband, if you are taking him for granted, if you're not showing gratitude, so let's say your husband is the provider, which isn't always, I know this. Women, you can go out and get jobs, you can make more money than men. I know that. Don't get all upset. We're all equals, whatever you want to believe. But and I believe that we are equals, but I don't have a preference. Well, he's my preference. But if you're not showing gratitude to your husband for the providing, or you have this expectation and entitlement to the money, and there's no gratitude, sometimes Prince Charming it's easy for him to not be so charming anymore because you're not being so charming yourself.
Let me give you a really nice example, actually. There isn't a day that we don't go out, take the kids somewhere, do something where you're not like, thanks, Dua, and helping the kids to remember to say thanks to me. You know, a lot of times it's included in prayer, you know, all these sorts of things. So, and guys, if you don't have that, it's not about giving her the paycheck. Okay, if we're still sticking to the same theme here, okay? But it's not about just giving her the paycheck. You know what I mean? Like I have to make sure that I give Kathryn the affirmations for things that she's doing, the gratitude for things that she's doing, right? And so it's becomes this beautiful, well, there's a nice energy in your kingdom. And then the prince and the prince charming can show up. And then when you are having difficulties, for example, some of you have to figure out all this money shit right now, you know? Maybe you do have to put that budget in place. Well, then, if the energy in your home is better, you know, you're actually appreciating each other.
You're not fighting about money because you're showing gratitude for bringing money home on either side. You're showing gratitude for working so hard. You know, it's a lot easier. I can imagine. So I use his debit card all the time. I laugh because I have my own money, but I prefer to spend his.
No, we can't.
I'm just better at saving money. That's the only thing. But what was I going to say there? I don't remember. Lost my train of thought. I was picturing myself buying something. Lost my train of thought.
But here's the thing. So, you know, I don't feel taken advantage of because you also work extremely hard. You actually, whenever you can, you make good money anyway. It doesn't matter. Whenever you can, you're like, I'm going to take care of this. I'm going to take care of that. And that's not because she can or cannot. It's because there's a plan and there's choices. Right? It's what is she deciding to do? How is she moving the money? What's happening with it? And so sometimes she's like, oh, I'm going to take care of, I can't think of an example.
Something extra. Like I just bought something for you for your birthday.
You bought me
which I should buy anyway. But sometimes big purchases could be like a family purchase, but I'll want to treat you to something.
That was massive. That was a big mastermind with Cole. So like, that was like a massive, massive gift. Right. And so, but I mean, like sometimes you take over from what I would normally.
Oh, right? Yeah. Like if he pays for the credit card, pays groceries on the credit card, then I'll do it on mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I was going to say was about having your debit card is that it probably is easier for him. So I was going to say that. So I have his debit card. It's probably easier for him to allow me to have his debit card because I also thank him for working, which a lot of women don't do. And when I bring it up, women get angry. Actually, I'm like, are you thanking your husband for working? Like, why do I have to thank him for working? I'm like, why? I said like so many times. Why would you not thank him for working? Because all of a sudden, if he stopped working, then you'd have the entitlement like he has to, or you'd have to go work double shift or something like that. And so having that sense of gratitude. So when I spend his money, I still thank, even if I go to Tim Hortons sometimes. For you Americans, Tim Hortons is a coffee shop. I'll be like, you bought me a coffee today. Thank you.
Well, and that's the thing. So I think that the first thing you need to realize is this: gratitude goes a really long way. And here's why, especially. You know, the amount of guys I speak to that are actually broke, they're just looking for free advice. I totally understand why. They're desperate. I get it. I'm not upset about that. It's just that there's a lot of you. And so there's not a lot of time, right? I like to take my calls. And so, you know, I get on the phone, I'm talking, and like, if you can't even afford winter tires, you can't afford summer tires, like, dude, you're not a provider. Like, I'm sorry. I don't care what you say. Don't get all upset at me if you're listening to this right now. Just fucking don't. Because we lost everything during COVID and we had to start over. You know, we lost our home, our vehicles, everything. And you can't say to me that there's a job that doesn't exist for you out there. There's not a career or something you're good at. You can learn to coach. Hi, that's what we did. You know what I mean? So, excuse me. I'm not saying that's the only way you can make money. Join my email list. I sent one out recently how you can go knock on doors and make money. Give 3 examples. You can insert whatever you want and make $2,000 this weekend. Like, if you're broke, you're broke. Solve a fucking problem. Money is not the problem. You are. Now, your spouse, either one of you, both of you should be showing gratitude so that in those hard times, you can feel lifted. If I have to go knock on doors for a weekend, excuse me, you're not going to like weigh me down for not being around because there was an issue, or not that this is our story, but you know, like, yeah, but actually it was after COVID, there was so much. There was a time when I was working 22 hours, like sleeping 1 hour a day, 1 hour a night. You were pregnant. You had we were pregnant with Riddick, had the girls running around. Like, And I was busy trying to get us our life back, right? And your business was online trying to grow. And it was actually making the money. We were trying to look further ahead. It was hard, guys. It was hard.
And that's why we speak about these things with such conviction, because we've been through it.
Yeah.
You know, I had a sense of entitlement. I wasn't showing gratitude. He was working really hard. We made all the mistakes that you make and that you're making, and it was about the money rather than about the connection, because you can get so wrapped up in money, because money, it can seem to cause a lot of problems, but when the connection is there and the money's not, you'll be in a much better spot.
And you know,
of course, we want the money to be, you want to be able to pay your bills, you want to be able to,
of course. But here's the thing, you can learn anything you want on fucking YouTube. Like, I mean, those of you who are listening to every episode of this podcast, good, that didn't cost anything. You can even send questions in. Go to my website, send a question in. Actually, there's a form on the podcast section, so you can just keep it coming. I don't check it very often because nobody uses it. So I use comments. That's how I get it. You know, send a DM. I make a note. Guys, you can get free stuff all the time. There's business coaches, Alex Formosi, Cole Silva. There's all kinds of people that will give you stuff for free. Andy Elliott. You know, there's so many people that give it to you. You just have to go looking for it. So don't let money be your problem. In fact, understand this though. And by the way, this also goes for rich AF people, okay? Like client here in Kelowna, business went through the roof when he did my program. Not because the program is for business, but because you apply it to relationships. Morale boosted, productivity went up. And he went from actually, I won't give his numbers. He insanely increased his numbers. Excuse me, I'm not going to do that just because I said he was in town. But like, you need to understand that you are holding yourself back if your emotional bank account is low. That's it. Your emotional bank account's ruining the rest of it. No matter how much money you do or do not make, it's your emotional bank account. People say health first. You will squat more. You will bench press more. You will push harder sprinting. Whatever it is that you do for exercise, you will work harder when you don't have your emotional bank account drained. You just will, right? When you don't have the fog, you're going to do better. So start lifting the emotional bank account balance right fucking now today. And then you will realize that money's not the problem. You can go make fucking money. It's also why we saved our marriage broke. Think about it, guys. 7 figures to broke overnight was when we did the best work saving our marriage. Couldn't go out and date. How many of you guys are like, I don't have the money for a babysitter? Fuck, man. Fuck you. It's COVID. Nobody could leave. Okay? Like, what is the sense of entitlement here?
This is a whole other episode, by the way.
Oh. Damn it.
But we did it. It was called Types of Dates, and you can go on a date even if you know.
Oh, yeah.
But let's wrap this one up, because we could talk about we're pretty passionate about this, because it shouldn't be about the money.
Yeah, money's not the problem.
Money's not the problem.
We love money, but you're the problem. Oh, that sounded really bad. We love money.
No, and we don't love money. Money serves a purpose.
Yeah.
We love each other.
Well, we're obligated to do what we do. Without money, we can't do what we do. And what I mean by that is, who do you think pays for all the extra stuff? Like, we're putting the podcast in all kinds of different languages. We're creating the book that was never happening before, so more people can get it. This is all money with the obligation to do what we do. It's a beautiful opportunity for doing everything like that.
Money creates
right?
opportunity.
That's right.
But get your mindset in the right place. It's not all about the money. It's about the relationship.
Yeah. Another one of the beautiful byproducts, you call it?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. All right, guys. Go get your life.
Bye-bye.